Does it look like a happy face? Yeah, I'm sick of arguing or even discussing this whole business with my fellow XXY species that, that we're not males. I mean, look at me now. Beard, you think male. Shirt, you think male. Jacket, you think male. Trousers, you think male. Boxer shorts, you think male. I mean, come on. Of course I look male. Of course technically now I act male in a lot of ways. But in my emotional self off testosterone now, they classify me more as a bipolar, depressed, manic depressed, hypersensitive male. When in fact everybody's wrong in those opinions. I'm a normal XXY off testosterone. Or estrogen, let's be clear, because there are some XXYs who have fiddled around, because most doctors will not give you estrogen because you're looking like a male or you've got a penis or whatever. But I am sick of it, but isn't everybody sick of their jobs at some times in their lives? So I am sick of it. But I'm going to continue struggling with this. And try and get XXYs to adapt to this new stance. It's great when I meet an XXY like this New Zealand XXY guy who's saying, yes, we're not Klinefelter syndrome, or at least he's not Klinefelter syndrome and I'm not Klinefelter syndrome. And I wouldn't call Klinefelter syndrome a disease. There's only one Wikipedia entry, I think, for Klinefelter syndrome listed as a disease. Obviously, it's not a disease, because as far as I know, correct me please if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will all correct me anyway, but I think a disease is something that's contagious, surely, or that's passed on from person to person, or something like that, isn't it? And Klinefelter's isn't passed on. We're born with it. We don't get it halfway through life. We're born with it. And my argument, as usual, if you can go with this, is transsexuals. People who change their sex over. They are convinced, just like most XXYs are convinced in the world, that it's just a male and female world. Even though you're XXY and you've got an extra X chromosome, if you're technically calling yourself an XY with an extra X chromosome, then come on, But what about the XXY that I know that is most certainly female in all sorts of ways, but also has the bits of male in her too, and so it's just, I think it's something that we need to erase from medical books and erase from our own understanding of life on planet Earth, that there's just males and females. It's just not right. It's not correct enough. Transsexuals have this feeling in them that they're not in the right body, basically. Their mind is not suiting their body, and I completely understand that as an XXY. I'm a bit fucked there. I hate using the F word for some of you, because some of you switch off then when you hear the F word. Oh well, shame. But, I'm seen as a male, and that's disturbing because I'm not, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. Or I'm not even in the middle. I'm simply another species altogether. I don't want to force XXYs to take my stance on it and say, okay, we're another species, we're a third gender, we're in the middle, we're not male, we're not female. I don't want to force them into that. I prefer if they came to that conclusion themselves. I would love some arguments, so, I'd really like to get some arguments going on then. And you argue with me, XXYs I'm talking about, you argue with me on how we are male, how we are 100% male. Argue with me on that one. I'm really dying to know how anyone, even a non-XXY, can come to the conclusion that an XXY is 100% male. It's just so fucking wrong. the XXY movie that came out by Lucia Puenzo was based on a hermaphrodite, XXY. And, you know, as shocking as that may be for the XXY community out there who would term themselves Klinefelter syndrome, you know, if the film was about somebody like me, or one of you people out there, XXY males looking species, yeah, you know, it wouldn't be much of a film. You know, people would walk out of the cinema going, like, and what was the difference there? You know, because there's a very slight difference in physical look, you know, between XXY males and XY males, excuse me. You know, there's huge slight difference. You know, and so yeah, why do XXY males they don't seem to jump into an open discussion forum thing to discuss that. It wants to be like, you know, swept under the carpet. You know, look, just shut up about that. Just don't go into that. Let's just keep it simple, Gavin. Let's keep it simple. Let's just be male and female, and keep the he and the she, and have transsexuals in the world going from these spectrums, male to female, for the rest of their fucking lives, not really understanding somebody like myself and the other people that are on YouTube that are in the middle. You know, it's just mad. You know, the categories, the two categories, or three categories if you want to call weirdos a category, you know, because that's what people get called, like myself, when they say, well, I'm not male, I'm not female, you know. I used to never like jackets, right? Oh God, like male jackets. My brother used to wear jackets all the time, and he'd ask me, like, why don't you just wear jackets, you know? And I was like, because I don't fucking like jackets. You know, I was buying, you know, I was going into ethnic shops or female shops and buying female clothes that didn't look totally female. They actually looked unisex. You know, the only way you'd know that they were female is if you looked down at the zip, and the zip was on the other side. You know, I don't know if you men know that, or even if you females know that. Or am I just wrong in calling you males and females? Because you're just all individuals and all people, right? All different. We are all one, but we're not the same. Thank you, U2, Bono, and all whoever wrote those lyrics for writing those lyrics. We are all one, but we're not the same. So I'm not. Let's say I don't want to, you know, force people to say, yeah, Gavin, you're absolutely right. You know, but I suppose the only example I could give you, if we went to another planet, right, and the planet was uninhabited, and we went to the planet first, I think the best thing to do there on the planet is not to segregate people into groups of, oh, that's a male, that's a female, that's a weirdo. Yeah. It should just be on a level of, okay, what are your skills? What can you do to make this planet better? You know, it shouldn't matter what you're wearing. It shouldn't matter who you're fucking. And it shouldn't matter, you know, how you feel about yourself, as long as you don't go around hurting other people and getting insulting on other people. You know? And there's a huge resistance to people like me who boldly, but rightly, if you ask me, say that no, it's not just male and female planet. You know, there's a huge resistance to my train of thought there, and I understand it because I happen to be in a quite how would you call it, like this society that I live in, this environment that I live in is far more healthy than many other people's lifestyles and environments. Yeah, I've yet to get my feet off the ground and fly off into the direction that I'm supposed to be in. You know, I'm stalling. I'm scared. You know, whatever. You know, but one thing I'm not scared about is even arguing, but talking to my fellow XXY people about what I have thought always of XXYs growing up. But, you know, as usual, when you live in a world that you think you're on your own in, and you conjure up your own imagination and you know, your own reality on a subject, and then you eventually meet other people who are the same kind of as you, and they've different ideas. So, you know, then I have to come back and reconsider my thing, and I do that. So I think I'm very healthy in that way, that I'm able to listen to people and give a response and change my mind. I'm not stuck in my opinion completely on things. I think I'm a very good diplomat in so many ways, but I'm running out of time again. Why doesn't YouTube give me 20 minutes? I'd like to talk for 20 minutes. You know, this 10 minutes, 11 minutes thing drives me nuts. But anyway, there you go. Man signing off, don't you think, huh?